What if I told you most grocery stores only carry 3 days worth of food at a time? And in a real crisis, those shelves could be empty in just 8 hours. That's not a guess, it's happened before. And in 2025, with supply chains still shaky, extreme weather more frequent, and political tension rising, that risk is bigger than ever. Now imagine the power's out, roads are flooded, your phone's dead, you walk into your kitchen, hungry, worried, and realize you didn't prepare. No canned food, no emergency stash, just regrets. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'll show you 8 simple, long-lasting food items that can literally keep you alive in an emergency. They're cheap, easy to store, and when the panic buying starts, you'll be so glad you already had them. Let's get into it. Food 1, rice and pasta. Picture this, a Category 4 hurricane slams into a coastal town in 2025. Power lines down, supermarket shelves stripped within hours, families are trapped in their homes, hungry and desperate, but one family keeps calm. They reach into their pantry and pull out a massive bag of rice, boil water on the camping stove, add a spoon of salt. Suddenly dinner is served. They eat warm, filling bowls of rice night after night, knowing they're not running out. Here's the thing, white rice and dried pasta can sit on your shelf for 5 to 10 years, untouched and waiting. No fridge needed, no special conditions, and they're packed with carbs, giving your body energy when every ounce counts. In 2025, as supply chains wobble and extreme storms hit harder, these staples become your lifeline. Just this past spring, an apocalypse bucket sold at major retailers made headlines. It even included teriyaki rice and pasta Alfredo that can last up to 25 years. That shows just how vital and reliable these basics can be. Food that outlives disasters, emergencies, and even long-term panic. So the shock isn't just that rice and pasta sit forever, it's that in a crisis, when everything else fails, they hand you warm meals, energy, and a sense of normalcy. And all it takes is a smart bag in your pantry. Food, beans, dried plus canned. Your fridge dies, the lights are out for days, and yet there's one hero in your pantry you can count on. Beans. No fridge needed, no fuss, just ready to eat, protein-packed resilience. Recent studies out of Illinois Tech Labs showed that eating just 1 cup of beans every day can slash cholesterol and calm inflammation, especially for folks with prediabetes. Eureka alert. That's real medicine tucked into a humble bean. What's more, you don't even need a microwave to enjoy them. A can of beans opens with a twist, ready in seconds. And dried beans? They can last for decades if stored right. Seriously, dried navy or black beans have been found edible after being sealed up for 30 years. That's not shelf life, that's time travel. Today, bean-based foods are booming. The canned beans market hit nearly $800 million in 2025, and it's still growing fast. That's because people crave convenience, and beans deliver. No defrosting, no power required, just open, eat, survive. Let's talk gut-smart nutrition too. Beans are fiber rockets, feeding your gut bacteria. Surgeons at MD Anderson found navy beans can balance your gut microbiome and might even lower cancer risk. They're comfort food with a health punch. Here's the moment of truth. Canned beans equals protein, fiber, and vitamins, instantly available, no cooking needed. Dried beans equals ultra cheap, ready for the long haul, light years of shelf life. In an emergency, that's a difference between hunger and hope, between weakness and strength. Never underestimate the power of that humble bean. Food tier 3, peanut butter and nuts. Peanut butter might just be the quiet hero of any survival stash. 1 small jar, and you've got enough calories to fuel your body for days. Seriously, just 2 tablespoons of peanut butter can give you nearly 200 calories. And in a crisis, calories mean energy, and energy means survival. But here's where it gets real. During the Texas winter blackout of 2021, grocery stores were wiped clean within hours. Bread was gone, milk gone, but the people who had peanut butter and a sleeve of crackers, they were fed, they were focused, and they were okay. Now imagine that same situation happening in 2025, and it could. Wildfires are already breaking records, floods are hitting harder, and global crop instability is starting to push prices up, especially for protein-rich foods. Having something shelf-stable, calorie-dense, and comforting in your pantry isn't just smart, it's necessary. Peanut butter doesn't need to be refrigerated. It doesn't need to be cooked. It doesn't even need a spoon, just a finger and a little hunger. Plus, it lasts a year or more if sealed properly. And don't forget nuts. Almonds, cashews, walnuts, loaded with good fats, protein, and fiber. A handful gives you a quick mental boost when you're stressed or tired. And let's be honest, if the lights go out and your whole world turns upside down, even a small handful of something familiar can feel like gold. One prepper once said, "In every emergency, we think of food as fuel, but sometimes you just need food that feels like home." Peanut butter and nuts do that. They give you strength, but they also give you comfort. And in a disaster, that's rare. Food, canned meats and fish. Let's talk about something most people ignore until it's too late. Meat in a can. Sounds boring, right? But when you haven't had power for 3 days and your freezer's full of spoiled chicken, that little can suddenly becomes gold. Canned tuna, salmon, chicken, even Spam can last 2 to 5 years without refrigeration. And here's the kicker. They don't just survive on the shelf. They still taste good, give you a full dose of protein, and need zero cooking. No gas, no stove, no microwave. Just open the can and eat. That's survival made stupid simple. After the Texas winter storm in 2021, thousands of people were stuck with no power for over a week. Grocery stores were closed, deliveries were halted, and people were literally digging through pantries trying to make meals out of condiments. One woman shared how a single can of canned chicken got her through 2 days, mixed with some crackers and hot sauce. That's the kind of food that saves your sanity. And here's something most folks don't know. In 2025, some governments have started stockpiling canned proteins like sardines and tuna, not just grains. Why? Because in a crisis, your body doesn't just need calories, it needs strength. And that strength comes from protein, real food. I remember during a blackout in my area last year, everything shut down. Couldn't cook, couldn't leave, no food delivery. I found a couple of cans of tuna I'd forgotten about, grabbed some stale crackers, and honestly, it felt like a 5-star meal compared to nothing. That's when it hit me. This isn't just about prepping, it's about not panicking when things go sideways. So when people laugh about keeping canned meat in the house, I just smile. Because when shelves go bare and everything's chaos, that little metal can, it's not just food, it's freedom food. 5. Cereal and granola bars. Cereal might not sound like a survival food, but in a real emergency, it can be pure gold. Think about this. During the Texas freeze of 2021, thousands of families were trapped in freezing homes without power. What saved many of them in those first 48 hours? Dry cereal, granola bars, crackers, anything quick, edible, and shelf-stable. That same situation could hit again this year, and it already has. In 2025, freak ice storms and heat waves are knocking out power grids more often, even in areas that used to feel safe. Cereal is more than just food. It's comfort. It's normalcy in chaos, especially for kids. When everything else feels scary, a bowl of their favorite cereal, even dry, is something familiar, something that reminds them of calm mornings, not crisis. That emotional stability matters more than you think in a high-stress disaster. And granola bars? Total game changer. No prep, no tools, no heat, just grab and eat. They're loaded with calories, shelf-stable for months, some even years, and give your body the fuel it needs to keep moving, especially when cooking isn't an option. You don't have time to boil water or light a stove when the power's out and the streets are flooded. Here's the real kicker. During emergencies, people always run for bread, milk, and eggs, but shelves with granola bars? Often overlooked in the first rush. That gives you an edge, and if you stock up now, just a couple boxes a month, you'll build a stash that lasts with no stress on your budget. This isn't just breakfast. It's a lightweight survival tool that could carry you through the first brutal days of any crisis. Stock smart now or scramble later. Food. 6. Dried fruit and trail mix. When people think about survival food, they usually jump straight to canned beans or MREs, but the truth is, your body craves more than just calories in a crisis. It needs vitamins, natural sugars, a little comfort. That's where dried fruit and trail mix come in. These aren't just snacks, they're quiet lifesavers. You wouldn't believe how powerful a handful of raisins or dried mango can feel when everything else around you is falling apart. I remember during the blackout last winter, when the grid failed for 14 hours straight, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was cold, no heat, and I couldn't sleep. I was drained. I fumbled around in the dark and grabbed a pack of trail mix I had tossed into a drawer weeks earlier. Almonds, peanuts, little chunks of dried banana. That tiny snack gave me enough of a boost to calm down, warm up, and think clearly. Dried fruits like apricots, cranberries, or even dates last months, sometimes years, if stored right. And they're full of potassium, antioxidants, and natural sugars that can give your body quick energy without the crash. Your body needs that kind of energy when you're stressed, cold, or working harder than usual just to stay safe. Trail mix takes it up another level. The mix of nuts, seeds, chocolate bits, and fruit is a smart combo. Healthy fats, protein, and carbs all in one Ziploc bag. And the best part, it doesn't need to be cooked, heated, or even refrigerated. You just open the bag, eat, and keep moving. In a situation where you don't know when your next proper meal will come, that's huge. In fact, in 2025, with so many climate events happening, flash floods, wildfires, even food delivery delays from strikes and fuel shortages, preparedness experts are now recommending that everyone keep small morale foods in their emergency stash. Not just for the nutrition, but for the mental boost. Something sweet, something familiar, something that feels normal when nothing else does. And trail mix or dried fruit is the easiest way to do that. No cooking, no mess, just tear and eat. Throw a few packs in your car, your go bag, or even in a desk drawer. You'll forget they're there until you really need them. When it all hits the fan, survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about keeping your mind clear and your body moving. Sometimes the smallest foods make the biggest difference. Food 7. Powdered milk and UHT shelf-stable milk. You ever open your fridge during a blackout and see that carton of milk slowly warming up? That slow realization, it's going bad, hits hard, especially when you've got kids asking for cereal or you just need something for your coffee to take the edge off the stress. Now, here's what most people don't realize until it's too late. Milk doesn't have to be a luxury in emergencies. In fact, there's milk that doesn't even need a fridge. Powdered milk and UHT shelf-stable milk are two of the smartest, most underrated items you can add to your prep shelf, especially in 2025 when inflation has made dairy prices unpredictable and short-term outages happen more often. Let's break this down. Powdered milk is the long-term champ. It can last up to 20 years if stored right. It's lightweight, compact, and just needs clean water to bring it back to life. You can bake with it, cook with it, or just mix it up for a regular glass of milk. And honestly, in a stressful situation, something as simple as warm oatmeal with a splash of milk can feel like comfort food from a better time. Then there's UHT milk, ultra heat treated milk that comes in a box. It doesn't need a fridge until you open it, and it can sit on a shelf for the 6 to 12 months. Easy. And here's the cool part. It tastes like normal milk. In fact, in many European and Asian countries, UHT milk is more common than refrigerated milk. In 2025, with more people switching to backup food systems and bug-in plans, UHT milk sales are quietly rising, especially online. Why does this matter for you? Well, think of the little things. You want to make mac and cheese from your pantry? You'll need milk. Pancakes? Same story. Even instant mashed potatoes, soups, and powdered sauces often taste way better with a bit of milk added. And here's something else people overlook. Kids need calcium. If you've got growing children at home, you want to keep their bones strong even when fresh food isn't around. Shelf-stable milk helps bridge that gap. Even if you're not a milk drinker, think about, coffee. A warm cup of coffee in a crisis can be a lifeline, but coffee without cream or milk, it just doesn't hit the same. A scoop of powdered milk can turn that bitter cup into something that actually feels normal. Bottom line, this isn't just a nice to have. Powdered milk and UHT milk can save meals, nutrition, and morale when everything else around you feels out of control. And the best part, it doesn't take up much space and it won't go bad anytime soon. Stock it now, and future you will thank you. Food. 8. Emergency ration bars. You've probably heard of those biscuit-looking food bars they hand out in disaster zones or lifeboats. Well, they're not just boring survival gear, they're powerful tools. One brand, BP5, is literally the same emergency food used in refugee camps worldwide. And guess what? You can have the same bars in your pantry, ready when chaos strikes. Surprisingly, these aren't bland or chalky. They're balanced, calorie-dense, and meant to stay fresh for 5 years. Let's break it down. A single box of BP5 holds 9 individually wrapped bars, about 2,300 to 1,400 calories, enough for an average adult's full day or 2 days in survival mode. Think about it. 2 bars and you've covered your calories for the entire day. That's a serious lifeline when nothing else is available. And it's not just about energy. These bars are fortified with protein, vitamins, and minerals. Kids as young as 6 months old have used BP5 as their main meal in refugee camps, and health professionals say it keeps them alive and functioning. You're not just munching carbs, you're getting real nutrition that keeps your brain sharp and your muscles working. Here's where it gets interesting. Unlike some energy bars that dry out your throat, emergency rations like BP5 or boat bars are made to be non-thirst provoking, so they won't make you crave water. Perfect if supplies are low. Also, you can eat them dry or stir them into hot water for a filling porridge, twice the versatility with no need for a stove. Now, you may be thinking, those bars don't taste great, but brands like Slight Millennium Bars and Ready Hour have leveled up, offering flavors like lemon shortbread, chocolate, even blueberry. Millennium Bars pack a whopping some 460 calories per 21-ounce packet, with individual bars clocking 400 calories each, and they're U.S. Coast Guard approved for long-term storage and extreme temps. Meanwhile, Ready Hour gives you shortbread cookie taste in a 2,400 calorie pack, sweet, moist, and honest to match the energy density of their lookalikes. For long-term planning, experts recommend combining a pack or two of these bars in your go-bag sandwich or pantry. If one pack equals 2,400 calories, that's a day's worth. For a 72-hour emergency, just stash 3 packs. It's compact, lightweight, and stress-free. You don't have to rotate like with cans or dried goods. And here's the kicker. These bars have evolved since World War II. Hershey's D-Ration turned into current humanitarian grade bars, which now include protein, vitamins, all packed in efficient, non-perishable formats. So let me tell you why they're in your pantry, not just on a lifeboat. In 2025, supply chains are unpredictable. Extreme weather, civil unrest, food delivery isn't guaranteed. Having a box of BP5 or Millennium Bars feels like a secret life insurance policy. You may never need it, but if you do, wow, you'll be so relieved. To sum it up, 1. Super compact, 9 bars, adult daily calories. 2. Long shelf life, 5 years sealed, even after. 3. Balanced and fortified, carbs, protein, vitamins. 4. No prep needed, eat it or mix with hot water. 5. Non-thirst provoking, excellent for limited water. 6. Ananas tastes acceptable, especially modern flavors. This isn't trophy gear, it's real, proven life-saving food. And unlike canned beans or rice, you don't need a stove or spoon to use it. When everything else fails, 2 of these bars can literally keep you going until help arrives. Before we wrap up, let's talk about a few things that seem small, but could make a huge difference in a real emergency. First up, a manual can opener. You wouldn't believe how many people stock up on canned food, but forget this one simple tool. Electric openers? Useless when the power's out. Your stash of beans, soups, and meat cans won't help if you can't open them. So get a sturdy, no-fuss manual can opener and toss it right into your pantry. Next, rotation. Just because something lasts a long time doesn't mean you should ignore it forever. Every 6 to 12 months, go through your pantry, check expiration dates, use up the older stuff, replace what's missing. It's not wasted food, it's smart eating, and it keeps your emergency stash fresh and reliable. And finally, don't forget water. It sounds obvious, but too many people stockpile food without thinking about how they'll cook it, clean with it, or even swallow it. Many emergency foods are dry. Rice, beans, ration bars, and your body needs water just to digest them. Aim for at least 1 gallon per person per day for drinking, cooking, and hygiene. Store it alongside your food. Water is just as critical as calories, maybe even more. These tips might sound basic, but when disaster hits, it's the basics that save you. The truth is, disasters don't send a warning. One moment, life's normal. The next, stores are closed, power's out, shelves are empty. That's why these 8 foods aren't just extras. They're essentials. They don't just fill your stomach, they give you control when the world feels out of control. So if this helped you feel a little more prepared, hit that like button, subscribe for more smart prepping tips, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it before it's too late.